These are not the best of times for the human race, talking about the coronavirus pandemic. But as the saying goes, anything that has a beginning has an end. How soon will that be is, however, a million-dollar question that only time will tell. The good thing, however, is that the global community is united in bringing about a coronavirus-free world. Hello and welcome to Health Options, the program that not only tracks government's policies on health, but enables you make informed choices about your health. I am Rabi Abdullah. Since the end of February, specifically the 27th, when Nigeria's first case of COVID-19 was recorded, most of those infected were people who had been abroad and those they had interacted with after their return to Nigeria. Borders have since been closed as part of efforts to curtail the spread of the deadly virus. In the midst of this is the erroneous belief among some Nigerians that coronavirus is mainly targeting the rich, despite warnings that the life-threatening respiratory illness could also hit the poor. Within a short period, however, COVID-19 has spread beyond the elites, with the country's infection rate increasing exponentially as it is now at the stage of community transmission, with both the rich and the poor as victims. As at November 2019, only 2 laboratories located in South Africa and Senegal could test for COVID-19. In no time, however, Nigeria was able to set up 15 of such laboratories across the country. On this episode of Health Options, we shall take a look at the ongoing efforts to contain the spread of COVID-19 with attention on the country's testing capacity and other matters arising. We are in a period of lockdown and people are advised to stay at home as part of the safety measures against coronavirus. While staying at home, your immune system should also be top-notch. Join us on Our Nature Scanner for information on injectable vitamins and some micronutrients, as well as what God's free gift of sunshine does to your immune system. Thanks for joining us on the program. You are watching Health Options, and my guest on this segment is the Incident Manager, National Emergency Operations Center, NCDC, Dr. John Oladejo. Welcome to Health Options, Doctor.
Thank you for having me.
We're in the stage of community transmission, and I want you to, on that note, tell us where we are, especially states like Kano, Lagos, FCT, that are really reporting high infection rates at the moment.
The Lagos is the epicenter now, and then we have FCT, then we have Kano. So these are the major places where we are receiving reports every day at our EOC on the number of cases that are actually going on.
Cases are on the increase, and our worry is just about the fact that at this juncture, we thought we should be flattening the curve.
No, initially, when they came in, they were not really giving us enough information about themselves. Most of the phone number they gave were not correct, so we were unable to really track them. And
so that contributed
yes,
to...
that was the reason why such was happening, especially in Lagos. And most of these people, they were traveling to all over Nigeria. When you call a particular person in Lagos, he or she will give you the address of Lagos, but by the time you know it, it will be in Abia or any of the states. So it's a little bit difficult. Until when we now the federal government now locked down those states like Ogun, Lagos and FCT. So we were able to really intensify effort on case search. Then we are now using our
case contact tracing and testing.
we are intensifying on case search. We intensify effort on contact tracing, and then we are now using our third case definition that says that we should use SARIs and ILI to be able to check the hospital records and be able to know those ones that have come to the hospital. They will just say, well, they are sick, and they may not identify through the case.
People's samples are taken. Tests are supposed to be conducted within 48 hours.
Yes.
So what happened between that interval that test is conducted? Because some people don't wait. They just take off from there and move to another location. And most of them end up being positive, and we know what had trailed such conduct. Is it not possible to put such people in isolation while waiting for the 48 hours for their test to come out?
Initially, we were asking them to stay in their house on isolation during the time when the result will be out. But we realized that most of them were not actually obeying that. So what we now did in Abuja and Lagos was immediately your sample is collected, we move you to isolation center, and then when your result is out, we tell you whether you needed to move to the treatment center. The first place we take you to is isolation 1. At least we are observing you there. Any time when the result will be out, so immediately the result is out, we move you to the treatment center.
You've actually started doing that now?
Yes.
Because like the first death in Oyo,
yes,
was that of a customs officer who left Kano?
Yes.
While even waiting for his results to come out.
Yeah, but
So are you saying such things don't happen anymore?
Yeah, they are preventable.
You've been able to close that gap? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, that's what we're saying now.
Okay.
That government has seen that particular gap and they have already addressed it.
Okay.
So when we know that you have been exposed and then you constitute a sort of a threat to others, we take your sample, that is swab sample, and then move you to isolation 1.
Okay.
Pending the time when the result it will be out.
Okay.
So when the result is out, then we move you to the treatment center if you are positive. If you are negative, if we know that where you are coming from is a high-risk place, you stay for 14 days.
Okay. The WHO has consistently said test, test, test.
Yes.
And I know that as at November 2019, only 2 labs in Africa could test for COVID-19. That's the ones located in Senegal and South Africa. And over time, Nigeria alone has been able to come up with, set up to 15 labs.
Yes.
But people are even saying it's still not enough. Yes. My question is the functionality of all those labs. Are they all functional?
One lab in Kano will have to be closed down for some time, but they are all functional now. We have 15 molecular labs in Nigeria that are actually functional as we speak. So the one that was not functional has been rectified.
What should it entail, considering all levels now, from the home, the individual, government, the society? What should taking responsibility, campaign that you are driving, entail?
People take responsibility for their own heads. And that is the reason why most people, they don't know that when they lock down a country or a state, everybody's supposed to be in the house and observe it. So our campaign is for individual. At least individual should be able to take health responsibility for his own health, should know exactly what he's supposed to do at a particular point in time, and then be able to take responsibility for others that are around him or her. So if you take responsibility for yourself, take responsibility for your family, automatically the society too, and then the whole country will do the right thing at the right time.
Okay.
So this is what we are talking about, from individual to the family, from the family to the society, and then to the whole country as a whole.
What have you got to say about those who have been running away from isolation centers? What's the implication of that?
The implication of it is that they are not actually helping themselves and they are not helping others. If they really love themselves and love others, they will not be running away. Because as they are running away, they will not be able to take the necessary treatment, and then they will continue to be having the disease, and eventually knocked down. But they are equally threats to the society, to their friends, and to their community. So I want to tell them that if they really love their family, if they love their friends, and if they love themselves, they should not run away from isolation center. Isolation center is for government to ensure that everybody is well protected. So since you are exposed to the virus, the government wants you to have the full benefit of the treatment and then be able, to get out of this, like some victims that are now in survival. They came out to tell us, yeah, this thing, a little bit, it's not easy, but for the time being, they were able to really protect others from being infected. So I will encourage everybody, if you are on isolation, please don't run away.
Okay.
And then if you are exposed, try to be on self-isolation pending the time when our people will come and take your sample.
Okay, we could treat test for 1,005 up to 3,000 now.
Yes.
Any efforts to scale up on that?
Yeah, if you look at the tweets that was going out now from us, that's exactly what we are doing. We really want to scale up. We want to really go, we are just 11,000 plus now. We want to go to 1 million and then more than that. In fact, our target is 5 million.
But the DG and CDC, Dr. Herkwazu, had said that Nigeria is running out of test kits.
Yes, yeah, that was what was in the Twitter. But we are really working on that to be able to replenish all this. So our major aim is to use the gene expert and then be able to scale up and be able to test as many people that have been exposed, the right people, that are being maybe exposed to the virus, and then be able to say yes, they're either positive or negative, and if they're positive, they have to go into the treatment center.
Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Ladejo, for making out time to join us on Health Options.
Yes,
thank you.
Thank you very much.
Do you know how much good you can do to your immune system by sitting or walking around your compound for a dose of the early morning sunshine barefooted, preferably on the grass or soil? These and more as we take you to our Nature's Corner.
One of the things that actually drives our immune system is that of vitamin D, vitamin C. With regards to vitamin D, the simplest and the commonest way to actually get it is through getting it from the sun. The time that you're recommended to actually be out in the sun is between 10 and 11 a.m. in the morning. That's why you get, the sun's rays that we actually get into your skin, and the skin is capable of manufacturing or making vitamin D. You are encouraged at least to come on. The best time really to get yourself exposed to the sunlight so that your body can make vitamin D is between the hours of 10 a.m. and 11 a.m. So if you come out during that time, you don't really have to go and stand outside the sun, but you should be outside. And within 30 minutes that it is usually recommended, your body can make 300 times the amount of vitamin D that you can get from some of these vitamin D even supplements. So let me emphasize on the importance of vitamin D. Vitamin D actually is a very important component of our immune system. That is to say that vitamin D and vitamin C work hand in hand to actually drive and immunomodulate, that is, enhance and build our immune system. So how does vitamin D do this? Let me give you an analogy of how vitamin C and vitamin D work. Vitamin C represents, the pool, a nation that has an army. With your soldiers that are armed, they are ready. But you see, that is vitamin C. Take it in that analogy. But then vitamin D comes as mobilizing those soldiers to go out and attack the enemy. So these work hand in hand, and this is how they work. And simply put, they're actually complementing, each other. For the purposes of this discussion, we may not go into greater details, than that. But vitamins C, if you look at the immune system, it's a very complex, system that even scientists, some don't know very well, even some doctors don't know very well. But let's take it at that level that the immune system is a defense against diseases, and that's how it works. Especially we Africans. One can easily say that, well, we live in the tropics, hence our exposure to vitamin D is very much there, since we have sunlight for almost 18 hours 12 hours, at least 12 hours in a day. But contrary to that, the way God made the body, the black skin actually contains melanin, which is supposed to protect us from the sun. This is to say that as for we blacks, we need to stay in the sunlight for longer hours to make vitamin D compared to white people or the Caucasians. So it is really very important. Additionally, in times like this, because we've lived over years, most of us, if you look at the population, 80 to 90% of our population, that is the black population, is actually deficient in vitamin D. Because of our lifestyle, we stay indoors most of the times, and then the protective effect of the melanin of our dark skin. So we are deficient. And if you are deficient to that level, because you see, the normal levels of vitamin D should be between 30 to 100 nanograms per deciliter. Some patients, when they come to us, you see that their levels is less than 10. So in that kind of a deficient state, and if you are relying only on the sunlight, that you will make enough vitamin D that will sustain your immune system, it is a fallacy. It is actually unrealistic. So what we do, we actually have injectable forms of vitamin D, which most practitioners don't even know about, because the common thing you can find in our pharmacies here is just the tablet form of vitamin D. If you want to know, the highest you can get is 1,000 international units of vitamin D, tablets. So the injectable form, we give in very high doses, and the aim is actually in such low deficiency state anyway. You need injectable form so that it can boost you up to that level. Then you can maintain with coming out and staying in the sun. But if you are that deficiency level and you are depending on the sun, you will not get where you want to be. Take for example, when we give, we see that people are really deficient. We give up to 600,000, international units of the, 600,000 international units. And one injection is supposed to take you for 3 months. So after that, when you come back after 3 months, then we'll be able to measure your own vitamin D levels again. If it has reached, at least it is recommended that your vitamin D level should be about 70 nanograms per deciliter. It should not be below 70. Remember, I have said that the normal range is such a wide one, between 30 to 100 nanograms per deciliter. So it is recommended that you should not be below 70. So with those, injectable forms, you are able to come up very quickly. And this is one of the, the reasons why we pride our center for having this form of vitamin D. Very good. Talking about the elderly, you see, one of the reasons why you see this COVID-19 is linked with higher mortalities in the elderly is because elderly don't even go outside as much. As a result of that, they don't expose themselves to have enough vitamin D. Elderly also, most of them have comorbidities. They have other existing diseases like diabetes, hypertension. Some of them have even suffered from stroke. Some of them even have some infectious diseases like tuberculosis. And then even HIV/AIDS that they have been living with. So the immune system is already compromised. So when COVID-19 comes in, into the body, the immune system is already wired. So it just has a free day and kills them, quickly. So we cannot overemphasize the importance of a buoyant, or what we call an upregulated immune system in containing and fighting diseases, including COVID-19. A very good immune system, it is just like, I'll give an example. If you have a well-armed, soldier, first of all, no enemy would just want to come. They cannot just run you over, because once they come in, you will resist. Your soldiers will resist. And because not just having the soldiers will also be well-armed. They have ammunition, so they will fight back, so the enemy will be repelled. So the same concept will be translated in terms of, disease. So once you have a very good immune system, because we say that an immune system is a defense mechanism against, diseases. If the body is well enhanced and prepared, COVID-19 comes in, our immune system will fight it and contain it and overpower it. One of the things that actually suppresses our immune system is electromagnetic, frequency waves. Those, because they carry some radiations. You talk about the gamma radiation, the beta radiation, the alpha radiations. So once these are actually stored in our body, they have the tendency or the propensity to actually deplete our immune system. Grounding is that connection that actually removes some of these electromagnetic waves that are stored in your body that are depressing the immune system. So you can say that just like going out there in the sun to get vitamin D that would actually fight the disease, grounding will also remove some of these noxious electromagnetic waves that will actually suppress and depress the immune system. So grounding is very much, recommended. You go into sandy areas. And where can you find sandy areas? You can still find those around the beaches. You have rivers that actually have sand. While we remain at home or we're locked down, it does not mean that we should be locked down in our bedrooms for 24 hours or in our sitting rooms for 24 hours. Two things that I would recommend. Go out in the morning between the hours of 10 and 11 a.m. so that you can catch vitamin D, so that the body can also make vitamin D that works towards the immune system. Then I would also encourage you to practice, grounding, walking barefooted on the ground, and then especially on the sand. You can even make, the bare ground. You can walk on it. And how does this help? It reduces the amount of electromagnetic, rays or frequencies that your body has stored that are immunosuppressive. With that, and then getting some sunshine with vitamin D, and also supplementing with vitamin C, both of which are in injectable forms. I will ask you to first come for the injectable forms of vitamin C and vitamin D. Then you can supplement with the sun. But don't just rely just on the sun. As I mentioned earlier, because of our lifestyle and the way our skin is, most of us, about 90% of the black race, is deficient in vitamin D.
For now, the best and most efficient way to avoid getting infected is through regular hygienic and sanitary practices, as well as social distancing. As individuals, we remain the greatest weapon to fight this pandemic. By washing our hands regularly with clean water and soap, disinfecting frequently used surfaces and areas, coughing into a tissue or elbow, and strictly adhering to infection prevention control measures in health facilities, we can contain this virus.
And as we end this week's episode of Health Options, remember to practice all the safety protocols against coronavirus. You can go to our YouTube channel to watch the upload of these and other episodes of the program. Email us for your comments and contribution at healthoptions@nta.gov.ng. My name is Rabi Abdullah. Thanks for watching. Goodbye and stay safe.